From Romano Leadership, I'm Oscar Romano. This is Learn, Reflect, Lead. Leadership and DEIA development for mission-driven individuals and organizations. This episode is titled, The Power to Influence Others Can Be Yours. You have the power to influence the behavior of the people around you without them even realizing it. But as Spiderman's Uncle Ben once said, with great power comes great responsibility. So how did this power to influence work? You see, everyone can wield this power, but only a select handful wields it knowingly and correctly. It all comes down to how you can subconsciously impact the people around you with the messaging that you deliver. In his book, Blink, Malcolm Gladwell describes this ability as priming, where individuals give subtle cues that cause subconscious reactions in others. Gladwell references an experiment by psychologist John Barr, who had participants in a study create sentences from different lists of words. One set of participants received words such as aggressively, bold, rude, bother, and disturb, while another group received words such as respect, considerate, appreciate, patiently, and polite. The participants were then directed to the scientist in charge to get further instructions, only to find the scientist in a conversation with another individual. But the scientists weren't interested in the sentences that the participants created. Actually, they were interested in how long it took each group to interrupt the scientist to get further instructions. And guess what? The results were striking when they measured how long it took participants from each group to interrupt the conversation. Isn't that crazy? You see, the individuals primed for politeness never interrupted the conversation, while those primed for rudeness interrupted within 5 minutes. The scientists could influence the participants' level of patience just by priming the two groups of participants with different sets of words. That the participants' subconscious minds took in the words they were given and created meaning through their level of patience. Now, I want you to think about what that means for leaders. Right? Think about what the results of that experiment means for leaders and the people around them. Participants in that study were influenced merely by a list of words that they had to use to create sentences. Leaders are constantly putting much more than a list of words in front of their staff. Leaders send out staff-wide emails, speak to them in meetings, and have one-on-one conversations with individual staff members. If leaders aren't careful and intentional with their messaging, their words could have unintended negative results. On the other hand, if leaders are deliberate and focused with their messaging, they set off a wave of positive energy across their staff. That's the power that they wield. And it's important to note that derogatory terms should never be used. But you should also be mindful when using words like worry, urgent, important, or necessity. These words could lead individuals to feel more stressed and frenetic. While you might be trying to promote a culture of accountability and urgency, your staff could be experiencing a wave of negativity. Now, this isn't to say they shouldn't feel a bit of pressure at times, but that we need to be strategic with our choice of words and when we're using them. In the middle of October, a first-year teacher probably doesn't need that added stress. You may need to use, different words. For a first-year teacher than you might a veteran teacher. For a veteran teacher, words like urgent or important may work out, especially if they've already gotten feedback about their lackluster performance. It's also different in groups. Leaders should be careful to avoid any interpretation of negativity while addressing groups of people. I remember one situation when I was addressing my whole staff about the importance of arriving on time for meetings. I was stressing words like importance, urgency, and respect. Unfortunately and ironically, the people who needed to hear that message didn't realize it was directed toward them, while those who didn't need to listen to it were upset that their efforts weren't recognized. In the end, it's true that your message is only effective if the audience receives it as intended. It's so much more powerful to lead with positivity. It never hurts to push encouraging, motivational, positive words to those around you. As a principal, I used to keep a bulletin board of positive messages in my office. And I saw plenty of other staff members do the same in their offices or classrooms. And why is that? It's pretty simple. Positive messages make you feel good, give you energy, and motivate you to move forward. A struggling first-year teacher will probably be down on themselves. So finding something positive to point out to them could make a massive difference in their performance. At the same time, a veteran teacher who's a consistent performer may have fallen under the radar and could benefit from some praise. Praise can help out a lot of people. And getting in the habit of positivity is excellent because it works in all situations. Whether you're with one individual or a whole group, you should find ways to leverage positivity for your messaging. Even if you're going through a trying situation, there's always something that you can be optimistic about. There's a warning though. You shouldn't hide behind positivity. A trap that some leaders fall into is thinking that they must be positive with everybody, all the time, no matter what. By no means is this the case. They are hiding behind positivity to avoid accountability. Never avoid holding people accountable for fear of coming across as negative. A lack of accountability is the same as promoting a culture of negativity. You're inadvertently sending a message that you don't care enough about your staff to hold them accountable and help them grow. That's it for this episode of Learn, Reflect, Lead. Thank you for watching on YouTube or listening via podcast. If you're interested in more, you can find me at romanoleadership.com or connect with me on LinkedIn at Romano Leadership. If you like this episode, please share it with your friends, subscribe, and leave a review. I'm Oscar Romano. Until next time.